The Nigerian state has been at war with the Igbo, and it has not stopped since 1966. Not that it has ever stopped being at war with every other part of Nigeria, but the Igbo has been more or less like the testing ground for all of the evils of the Nigerian state. If it does not find the way to make peace based on justice with the Igbo, the persecution of a man who merely speaks and acts on behalf of a people merely guarantees his martyrdom, and it merely ensures the end of this system. I keep remembering, and I've repeated this today, I believe it was General Philip F. Young, when he was delivering the instrument of surrender. I believe he said to, was it Obasanjo or Gowon? I can't remember who now. He said, I believe it was Obasanjo actually. He said, treat these people well, or their children will rebel against you. He wasn't a prophet. He was merely a man who knew the consequences of injustice. The first condition of the human spirit is a constant yearning and quest for justice. If you do not treat a people with justice, you're demanding that they must self-abnegate and accept a state of slavery for you to have peace. Nigeria will not have peace until there is justice available to all and sundry.
As Yorubas will say, ọ̀rọ̀ àbọ̀ náà ń sọ fún ọmọlúàbí tó bá dinú rẹ̀ á di odindi. And likewise, as Igbos will say, atụala ọmalụ ọmalụ, atụala ofeke ọfelụ banye n'ọfịa.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born. I think of my family and the poor farmhouse we had.
Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. I think Dele Farotimi sound bites that I played to introduce this tells you exactly where I want to go with this. And to prepare you for 2025 and Bold Talk, much of my Bold Talk, at least during these initial weeks of 2025, will be about freedoms in Nigeria, inequities in Nigeria, Nnamdi Kanu, Dele Farotimi, Omoyele Sowore, and people like them, in comparison, how they are treated in comparison to how Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen, and leaders who embezzle our resources are treated in Nigeria. This episode is about Nnamdi Kanu. It will touch on other things, but it's about Nnamdi Kanu. Any Igbo person that watches this and doesn't click the share button and the like button is a lip server, because Igbos complain about what's done to Igbos all across Nigeria. Here's an episode that addresses those issues about what's done to Igbos. But more importantly, the reason I led with Dele Farotimi is to take emphasis back to what I keep complaining about Igbos and our Igbo leaders: cabal-pocketed Igbos. And by that I mean, where is the voice of Obi of Furniture when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu? Where is the voice of Ezaro when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu? Besides lip service here and there, where is the voice of Governor Soludo? Where is the voice of Nnamdi Kanu's governor, Governor-elect Soti? Where is the voice of the Enugu governor, Governor Mba? We don't need to worry about Ozodema, whatever the name of the governor of Ebonyi is. Those are cabal-pocketed Igbos. We know what their agenda is. Where is the voice of Ato Eze when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu? Where is the voice of Emeka Ofo? Where is the voice of Emeka Ofo? Where is the voice of Obi Kubana? Where is the voice of Kubana High Chief? Where is the voice of E-Money? All those noise-making Igbos that Igbos run around worshiping and stampeding and dying to pick up crumbs, where are their voices on Nnamdi Kanu? I've said it before and I'm stressing it again this time. The most significant defenders of Nnamdi Kanu in terms of voices that can be heard nationally have not been. Outside his immediate family, his lawyers, and the noise that IPOB makes, disjointed noise, not organized noise. The biggest defenders of Nnamdi Kanu and the biggest Nigerians who have voices, real voices, that have called for Nnamdi Kanu's release at the risk of being picked up and put in jail have been Yorubas and people like Aisha Yesufu. And when I say Yorubas, I mean Yoruba voices. We know about the Igbo must go Yorubas. That's a different class. But there are good Yorubas. There are national equity-minded Yorubas. I want you to hear the things Dele Farotimi has to say today about Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra, Igbos, and the like. Kick back, relax. We have a good one for you today.
Kill Nnamdi Kanu today, there are 1,000 waiting to take his place. Because the reality is that he is not speaking to his personal pain. He is speaking to the pains of a people. When you have now driven a man to the point of impotence, where he realizes that talking to you makes no difference, changes nothing, and he has rightly or wrongly, I'm not going to judge him, picked up arms against the system or encouraged the use of arms against the system. If such a system is interested in peace, it deals with the root of the grievance and then it finds a peace. When people go to war, wars are never settled without peace talks.
It should be noted that if you trace back my videos, I don't always agree with everything Nnamdi Kanu says and the way he says it, but that's irrelevant. What I agree with and what every Igbo person should agree with, regardless of what your politics is that Nnamdi Kanu's course is an Igbo course. The IPOB course is an Igbo course. The method by which we want to achieve that course is what we need to work on to come to the same page. But Nnamdi Kanu languishing in jail is a shame on every Igbo person that breathes. The wicked leaders of Nigerians cannot be more powerful than a unified Igbo voice breathing down on them and demanding that Nnamdi Kanu must be set free. But Igbos have not done that, especially Igbos of means have turned the other way and pretended they don't know the injustice that their brother is suffering by being locked up in jail the last 3 years.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born.
The Nigerian state treats those who demand citizenship rights as terrorists. But those who are the real terrorists are mollycoddled because they are children of the system, consequences of their actions and inactions. I have deliberately separated the treatment of Omoyele Sowore and Nnamdi Kanu. Omoyele Sowore has not asked for the breakup of Nigeria. He has merely contributed ideas to how Nigeria can be made a better place. Nnamdi Kanu, we've already said that Nigerians are not citizens. And he was very correct, and he speaks for the Igbo street. The streets of Ala Igbo resonates with his voice because he speaks for the dispossessed and the disinherited. He speaks for a generation who have been systematically marginalized, disenfranchised, made the subject of inequities and the systemic evils of the Nigerian state. He speaks for those who do not have voices, who have had their voices taken from them.
He speaks for me. As an Igbo person, I don't know about you, but Nnamdi Kanu speaks for me. Even when I disagreed with some of the aspects and methods that he may have used, he spoke for me. It's time for us to speak for him. Nnamdi Kanu has a family. Nnamdi Kanu has a wife. Put yourself in Nnamdi Kanu's shoes. Or should I say, I think he has children. I really haven't seen Nnamdi Kanu's children. But put yourself in his shoes. Put yourself in his wife's shoes. The reason that I keep going back to Nnamdi Kanu and Dele Farotimi and Omoyele Sowore and their trials in Nigeria and their pain fighting for freedom in Nigeria is that I know that many people, including some who like watching me, I know that some will say, man, leave that stuff alone. At the beginning of this video, Dele Farotimi said that the Nigerian government has been at war with Igbos non-stop since 1966. And as Igbos say, Aro anagbaho ogoro menala. So what the government has been doing to Igbos have become accepted even by Igbos themselves, that they find a way to survive in Nigeria regardless of what the government does. But that's not how to live. So what I'm trying to do with my bold talk is to also make my own bold talk, akụkọ ga-agba afọ, a story that would become tradition, just like the bad stories of Nigeria and the Aroroala has become Omenala. I want bold talks, good talks, to also become Omenala. So get used to it. Change doesn't come easy. And people who are willing to put their lives on the line usually don't talk or act like everybody else. And while they live, many see them as outcasts. Many see them as crazy. Many recommend to them to go find something better to do. At 66, 67 years old, I've lived my life. I don't have much better to do but to contribute my little bit towards making Nigeria, if it survives, a better place for my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren to live.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born.
Now, if we have said that the only validity that the Nigerian state has in holding on to Mazi is a function of the fact that he has repudiated the legitimacy of the Nigerian state, and as I do the same as well, the Nigerian state is illegitimate. It is essentially, as I have said, a slave plantation. How does it explain that in the same country there are so many people who are busy strolling around with AK-49, AK-47s, M16, all kind of arms, enabled, mollycoddled by the Nigerian state? Why is it possible that a Sheikh Gumi can be speaking on behalf of the terrorists, but it is impossible for Buhari's ears, which hears the Gumi persuasions, not to hear what Ohanes and Igbo have been asking of him? Free the man, engage in fruitful deliberations. If the man has adopted and picked up arms against the state, it's because the state itself has never taken his leg off his neck.
How can we sing the Lord's songs in a strange land? You know that song, right? By the rivers of Babylon. That's the song. How can we sing the Lord's songs in a strange land?
You cannot beat a child and then demand that the child must not cry. If there wasn't validity, if there isn't, I should say, if there aren't validities to the demands of Nnamdi Kanu or his grievances, there will be no currency to his words. But he speaks clearly, speaking the mind and the grievances and the pains of the people. To ignore what he is saying will be stupid. He is the one who has embraced the use of the language that the Nigerian state understands. But he is not the only person who is aggrieved in Nala Igbo. Kill Nnamdi Kanu today, there are 1,000 waiting to take his place. Because the reality is that he is not speaking to his personal pain. He is speaking to the pains of a people. I keep remembering, and I've repeated this today, I believe it was General Philip Effiong, when he was delivering the instrument of surrender. He said, treat these people well, or their children will rebel against you. He wasn't a prophet. He was merely a man who knew the consequences of injustice. Nigeria will not have peace until there is justice available to all and sundry.
As Yorubas will say, ọ̀rọ̀ àbọ̀ náà ń sọ fún ọmọlúàbí tó bá dinú rẹ̀ á di odindi. And likewise, as Igbos will say, atụala ọmalụ ọmalụ, atụala ofeke ọfelụ banye n'ọfịa. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bull Talk on Island TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born. I think of my family and the poor farmhouse we had. suffocation. We had no timepiece, the cockcrow and the sun, all we had. Rise early at sunup, we'd go to the farms, drive the monkeys away from the maize farms, and the birds away from the rice farms. Then I moved into Lagos, where I am right now. Here in Lagos, no one